Hello everyone and welcome to the program Business Point on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. It's exciting. It's an exciting year, obviously, and the year is just starting. So we are looking at digital currency today, and then we'll be looking at the prospects for the year 2025 because of the current, trends that we are seeing within these sectors, and then the Security Exchange Commission of Nigeria and their regulations of cryptocurrency rather has been in place. So there's been a bit of back and forth still, but moving forward, these currencies are actually being traded in Nigeria as we speak, and then over 600 million or $1 billion of exchange actually goes down in Nigeria annually. So looking at all of this now, we are going to look at the prospects, how Nigerian economy is going to benefit from this sector, basically, and then also look at how other platforms, other ways of investment, Nigerian economy, and would be able to benefit from the crypto regulations and cryptocurrency exchange going on currently in the country. So, and then if you could remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had conversations around the cryptocurrency adaptation, where we even had that a form of voting registration can be done, and then casting a vote also can be done via digital and cryptocurrency platform. So that is just so much, and then the high rate of adaptation is actually going on in this part of the world, in Africa, and Nigeria is even leading the pack. It's one of the leading countries of cryptocurrency globally. So now let me bring you up to speed with what SEC, that is Security Exchange Commission, is saying about regulation of cryptocurrency. In 2024, the Security and Exchange Commission of Nigeria introduced regulations governing cryptocurrency exchange operating in the country. The regulation aims to enhance investor protection and market integrity by establishing licensing requirements and compliance standards for crypto exchange. The move by SEC provide clarity and regulatory certainty for crypto exchange operating in Nigeria, contributing to a more robust and transparent cryptocurrency market. This is a significant diversion from the directive released on the 9th of June 2023 by the SEC, which directs Binance to stop soliciting with Nigerian investors and warned investors against investing in crypto assets. So there have been lots of conversation back and forth going on, even when one of the directors of Binance had to get arrested due to some money laundering allegation that was labeled against Binance. But we've almost moved past all of that. Investors are still investing. Nigerians are still looking to have businesses and then have crypto assets as form of investment to be able to help secure a very reliable and sure future for themselves and as well as for their families. So all of this now is being traded. NBS needs to start reporting on this with all the regulation being put in place by SEC, and the federal government, the Federal Inland Revenue Service has also placed its own taxation on the on cryptocurrency tradings happening within Nigeria. So this is an avenue for Nigerian economy to be able to benefit from this sector, as well as every other sector that the economy is benefiting from. So we'll be having those conversations and the prospects, what we're expected to see. So if you could remember, in the year 2020, there was a projection that says Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000 mark by December 2024. So when we saw the bullish trend from the month of October, November, Bitcoin get to hit $100,000 by November last year. From the projection came as at 2020, and then we saw the trajectory of the growth of cryptocurrency and how Bitcoin emerged to be at $100,000 as at November, and then has been growing despite the fact that it witnessed a few dip within those sectors. Even the early months rather of the year 2024 December, we witnessed a bit of dip, but still the currency still rebound against the dip that it suffered. We are also seeing new currencies emerging, and then they are also doing so well and then hitting a few marks. So now let's look at the current projection for the 2025 for current cryptocurrency 2025 current projection. The 2025 cryptocurrency projections are looking promising, with many experts predicting significant growth from the top currencies. Here are some projections that we need to look out for the year 2025, and Bitcoin is expected to hit between, it has actually surpassed rather $75,000 mark. Now they are expecting Bitcoin to hit around from within 75,500 US dollars to a 150,000 US dollars, with a stretch target of 175 US dollars to 180,000 US dollars. Some prediction even suggests it could cross over 150,000 US dollars in the first half of 2025. And the test of, or the best, is for it to hit a mark of 185,000 US dollars in the fourth quarter of the year 2025. Looking at Ethereum, the forecast to range from $2,600 to $5,900 within the stretch target of 6,660, or higher than Solana. Solana has been projected to the range of 166 to 555 US dollars within the stretch target of 725 US dollars. Other notable mention XRP, which is expected to hit, which is currently at $1.44, is expected to hit $4.44. Bitcoin, Binance Coin is expected to be, that is BNB, is expected to hit around 604 cents to 1,250 US dollars. Cardano is expected to hit around, is currently at 0.71 cents and is expected to hit $2.22 by the fourth quarter of this year. And then we're also expected to see Polkadot, which is currently at $5.91 is expected to hit $19.12. So looking at all of these projections, mind you, these projections are actually subject to change, should not be taken as investment advice. So looking at this projection, and these are what analysts and experts have actually been able to project for the coming months. Looking at Bitcoin now, we're expecting to hit 150 to 175,000 mark by analysts and experts from the projections that they've seen. So this is what we're expecting to see in the first quarter, and then for it to hit 185,000 US dollars by December 2024. That is the fourth quarter of the year. Looking at all of these angles now, basically Bitcoin is the mother of every other cryptocurrency, and then the algorithm and the main source behind the growth of other coins that are coming in is the enhancement and the use of it by its community. So we've seen Bitcoin, how far and how much it has grown, and then other currencies too are coming in, and then they are expected to witness that growth. So we are going to be talking on how adoption of this cryptocurrency is going to be impactful to Nigerian economy and how Nigerians are going to benefit. Looking at it now, we are expected to see that dollar should be stabilized at 1,500. These are one of the key driving forces that would be able to enable us witness this significant stability within the FX markets. Though in the previous week now we've seen that the FX reserve has actually been able to has dipped to around 360 billion US dollars from the previous, it reacts differently from what it was from the previous quarter. So if we are looking at all of this now, we need everything possible. Looking at it now, this stability in dollar and also the focus and projection and stability also within the cryptocurrency market is also going to help with the current inflationary measures that Nigeria is facing. Remember, the president made mention of cutting down inflation from its current state to around 15%. If we don't get to have this stability within every other sectors, we might not be able to achieve that. Now, MBS report is the website is back up, and then there's there are a few omissions from the fourth quarter report from the previous year. So we are still going to talk about those omissions that we witnessed, and then we hope that it gets rectified really soon. But we'll be going on a quick break. When we return back, I'll be introducing my guests who would help us understand the prospects for the cryptocurrency here in Nigeria and globally for the year 2025. Please do stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. Let me bring you updates. Nigerian crude oil revenue rose to about 50.88 trillion naira in the year 2024. This is exciting, and an exciting data obtained from the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and agency of the federal government, confirmed that Nigeria produced a total of 480 billion barrels of crude oil in the year 2024. As of January the 9th, 2025, report by Statistics Research Department, a global statistical firm, showed that the average price of crude in 2024 was around 80 to $80 per barrel, and this will amount to a total of 32.1 billion US dollars if multiplied. With coordinates, total oil production for the year 2024 was at 566.78 million barrels. Recall that Nigeria had planned to produce around 649.7 million barrels of oil through an average daily output of 1.78 million barrels in the year 2024. And its budget actually says putting the crude oil price at $78 per barrel, and the exchange rate of 750 naira to a dollar means the country had planned to generate over $50 billion dollars, or around 38.1 trillion naira from oil last year. Looking at all of this now, due to the fact of some issues, vandalism and all of that, Nigeria wasn't able to hit most of this mark, and we were just doing around from 1.5 million barrels per day to at least 1.6 billion barrels per day, though at some point it surged to around 2.1 million barrels per day, as reports released by OPEC. So looking at all of this now, this figure is actually not what was actually expected to see. We expected to generate more, but looking at it now, at the trajectory, we tend to due to the lack of production that we actually forecast for, that the government actually forecast for the year 2024, we weren't able to hit that mark. So looking at it now, there have been other projections for this year which would be made public soon, and then we would hope to see that they get to see through it, and then this individuals involved would be able to reach the set mark, and then vandalism that happens within those regions and oil theft and bunkering that happen within those regions actually contributed negatively to the country not hitting its mark for the year 2024. And then moving away from that, talking about agriculture now and high cost of food inflation in the country. The current rate of food inflation is at 39.7%. That's alone for food inflation. If you remember, in the month of October and November respectively, food inflation got to a 40% high mark alone. So the main drivers and the main key driver of inflation in the country has actually been food, and then the federal government has been able to release 255 tractors for food production. The federal government made this known as it has received another 250 new tractors, with additional shipments arriving weekly. The tractor arrived in the country in 85 containers each, conveying 3 units of tractor. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Ikari, revealed this to the State House correspondent at his year's first edition of Meet the Press, organized by the Presidential Committee team at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. This forms about 10% of the 2,000 tractors expected from Belarus under the federal government's $1 billion agricultural mechanization program. Looking at all of this now, the key drivers of inflation currently is the high cost of food items. Now, why are food items very expensive? Current price of fuel is actually something that is being driven, that is actually one of the main causes that food items are expensive in the market. And then looking at those angles now, insecurity is contributing its own quarter negatively to the cost of food items in the market. So all of these issues now are actually the major challenges that we are currently facing in those sectors, in the agricultural sector. But with this current initiative by the President and the Minister for Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Ikari, measures are being put in place to be able to curb out this current inflation rate on food, on agriculture, on food items, and as well as also making rooms available for farmers to be able to go back to farm and then get to produce more, so as the items in the market will cut down. They've actually argued a lot of financial and business analysts have actually argued that the lack of production is actually one of the major factors that is driving inflation. And then when there is more production and when there are more food items in the market, individuals will automatically, those hoarding will automatically bring out their items to sell. So hoarding is not going to be a way out at the point. The people would always want to like have rooms, and they would also want to sell instead of having their products, goods and services, you know, diminish or get bad. Again, another factor that is being pointed out again is the current fact that fuel prices is about to go up, given the fact that off-takers are making mention of the fact that they'll be selling currently at 950 naira. We've seen in a couple of weeks that the fuel price and PMS price in petrol station actually dropped some to 945 naira, and then some are selling at almost 930 naira and 950 naira respectively, depending on where you're buying. But now with this current trend, and then saying that the oil price has gone back up to $80 to a barrel, you know, it's under challenging situation. And then independent petroleum marketers are calling on the federal government for funds to be able to, you know, have more CNG stations to help cope out most of all these challenges going on within the sector. Looking at all of these now, the government has assured that food items and inflation is going to be cut out from its budget for the year 2025. So things need to be put in place, and then the government are doing whatever they can to be able to see to the realization that items in the market are actually very affordable for Nigerians. And this is how much time will permit us to take on today's edition of Business Points. My name is Samuel Odi. Due to some technical issues from the end of our guests, we weren't able to bring you the prospects for cryptocurrency for the year 2025. But before, in the subsequent edition of Business Points, we'll definitely get to bring you the prospect for Bitcoin and every other cryptocurrency, and then we would follow the trend and the trajectory to see how those are going to be achieved. That's how much time will permit us to take on to this edition of the program. I am Samuel Odi. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.